As I said, Belinda is going to be recording this. So welcome. This is the 2025 Student Voice Symposium and Student Voice Summit session around preparing and submitting an abstract. So I'm Kerry. I'm a career development consultant at Griffith University. And it's fantastic to be part of this session today. I'm hoping we'll all get a lot out of it. So as I begin, I'd like to acknowledge the Turrbal and Yagara peoples as the traditional custodians of the land. We pay respect to the elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. So here's a little bit about the Student Voice Symposium and Summit that is coming up. It's going to be run towards the end of October, 23rd, 24th of October. It will be at Griffith University, Gold Coast, and there'll also be online too, which is it's fantastic if you're not able to make it all the way over to the East Coast. So the Symposium and Summit's a really friendly, supportive group of people who are really passionate about student voice in higher education. So we really want to hear from you, whether you're a first timer, whether you're new to presenting at conferences, or you're an experienced practitioner. This is a fantastic opportunity. All your voices are valued. The purpose of the session today is to take you through the requirements of preparing and submitting an abstract to present at this event, and also to hopefully boost your confidence and encourage you to give it a go if you are new to this conference in particular, or to presenting at conference in general. It's probably no more a supportive environment than this one. It's really good to think about this as an opportunity to hone your presentation skills, share your ideas, your practice, your learnings, and also to hear from other people who are just as passionate as you about student voice in the higher education space. Okay, so we've only got a couple of people in the room, but I want to get a bit of an indication from you. Maybe just to speak up and let me know, Donna and Novi, what your conference experience is. So which of these would probably represent your current experience? I'll start with you, Donna. Which one do you think represents your current feelings about conference?
Um, I've I sorry, I haven't done conference before, especially with the disability related. So I really have no idea at the moment.
Yeah, and have you had some ideas about what you might like to present at the conference this year, or are you still sort of thinking through what your options
Um,
are?
yeah, Novi and I, we are developing a pilot project to the Murdoch University. It's called disability support body to help students with disabilities achieve in their studies,
Mm,
not just academically but also socially. So it's
yeah,
we are creating a peer support program for the university.
sounds fantastic, and what a great topic for this conference.
Yeah, it's actually Novi's idea. Yeah,
Ah, fantastic.
based on her experience.
And you would be co-presenting, is that what you are hoping to do?
Yeah, Novi and I.
That's brilliant. So keep in mind that for this particular conference, co-presenting is really highly encouraged. So whether you present with a peer or whether you present with a staff member, a colleague, it's so much easier to have someone up there with you, giving your presentation. It gives you that confidence having that buddy with you. And the audience actually really enjoys hearing the diversity of experience amongst presenters. Now, Novi, I don't know whether you're able to speak at all. Does your mic work okay?
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
check.
Okay.
Hi,
Yeah, good
Novi.
morning.
Good to hear
But
you.
I'm sorry.
Are
Yeah.
you Are you at about the same level as Donna, or do you have a little more experience, or whereabouts do you sit when it comes to thinking about your conference experience?
I previously had an experience attending conference, but it's to present my research, not a project. So, like, I don't have really comprehensive idea on what to include in the abstract, in the overview as requested in the application form. So that's why I decided to book and attend this
Fantastic.
session. Yeah.
Well, it sounds to me like you've got yourselves quite a well-formed theme. You have an idea about what you would like to do, which honestly is the first hurdle. The next hurdle is presenting that in the format that the conference organisers require. And that's what we'll do. We'll take you through preparing and submitting the abstract today. So it's fantastic. Thank you for sharing where you're at. So just a little bit on why you would consider presenting. So there's some fantastic reasons why you might want to step up and give this a go. So showcasing your ideas, you can make some real impact. You can share your perspective on education. You can show how student voices can actually drive change. You'll be influencing educators, policymakers, peers. It's a fantastic opportunity. It's also a fantastic opportunity to learn through experience. So this is what we call real world learning, right? So you'll be contributing to streams like structures that listen, where you're designing systems where student voice really drives that meaningful change. It's also thinking about innovative ways that institutions can listen to, hear, and act on student feedback. Another one of the streams is learning together. So learning together is all about helping design inclusive and engaging education. This is where students can help shape what they learn, how they learn, and why they learn. Belonging and culture can lead to some fantastic conversations around diversity, well-being, and belonging in the education environment. And leadership in action. So this is a fantastic way for you to share your journey and inspire others to step up and create change. It's a great way to build your confidence, your communication skills, your leadership skills. And these skills are actually highly valued in any career that you're looking at getting into. And a great opportunity to connect with potential future employers and mentors. So you are going to meet professionals, educators, and other student leaders from all across Australasia. This is fantastic for your networking, for references, and for future job opportunities. You never know, you might actually be working with these people one day. Firstly, being that voice for change in education is really important. So you'll be really helping shift that role of students from participants to co-creators. You'll be doing that by sharing your practice and your ideas. This is something that really does resonate with employers nowadays. They really value initiative and innovation. It also helps you to boost your resume and stand out from the crowd. So employers really value that demonstration of presentation skills, also engaging in activities that demonstrate your ability to communicate with a diverse range of people in that professional context. That's really highly valued. So from a career development consultant or career practitioner perspective, this is such an amazing opportunity for you. Make sure that you put your attendance, your name of your paper, everything on your resume. It'll be highly impressive to employers. So I just want to share some important dates and information, links, etc. Please keep in mind your applications are due by July the 18th. You will need to make your application via the online application form. Your abstract length will vary, it'll be between 100 and 250 words maximum, depending on the presentation type you nominate. And I'll take you through a couple of those in a little bit. You must also register to attend the conference to be included in the program. Now, if you have any questions, Belinda is the SVA coordinator, and here is an email address for Belinda. So any questions after the session today, or as you're developing your ideas and thinking about submitting your abstract, please make sure you contact Belinda directly. Keep in mind, registration will open in August. Member institutions will have access to a number of complimentary in-person tickets. These are the mix of student and staff tickets. There will be additional tickets that will be available at a discounted price, and non-members can purchase tickets via the registration form. Belinda can let you know about how all of these tickets and registration will work, and also the fact that there will be student travel grants available. So if you have any questions about any of that, please contact Belinda directly. So what I want to do is just take you through the themes for this year's conference. So there are 4 themes. Your abstract, it will actually need to demonstrate alignment with at least one theme. You can align to 2, that's great. 3, that's fantastic. You will need to nominate the theme in the application form, the submission form. So if you're struggling to really think about what theme is going to be the best fit for you, for your topic, please have a conversation with Belinda. So I'll just go through this briefly. Obviously, you can read the themes and the information that's available on the SVA website, which we'll have a look at in a minute. But if you're looking at that first theme around student voice and university governance, your presentations might be around policies that formalise student input, digital tools that amplify student voice, or innovative governance practices. If you're looking at the co-creating curriculum and pedagogy as your theme, you might be looking at student staff co-design and curriculum, feedback loops in teaching, inclusive pedagogy, or examples of reciprocal learning cultures. If you're looking at building inclusive communities, it might be around initiatives that really build connection and wellbeing practices that support diverse and marginalised voices. I'm just thinking through yours, Donna and Novi, the topic that you have suggested. There's probably a couple here that might fit. And the last one is around building confidence and capability. So that's around leadership development, peer-to-peer training, recognition and reward, etc. So when you look at those, Donna and Novi, is there any theme in particular that you think fits quite well? Where would you head to?
Culture and belonging is the first one that aligns really well.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then maybe structures that listen, because we will propose a business case after conducting the pilot.
Yeah, fantastic.
The business case will be proposed to the university, perhaps.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds fantastic. I think you're thinking of exactly along the right lines there. Sounds good. So there's a number of different abstract submission types. They've changed a little bit this year. I'm not sure if you've attended previously and are used to certain things, but this is how it's organised now. If you are just starting out and you've got limited time to prepare a presentation, or you're looking for something that's a bit of an alternative to a traditional presentation, you might like to consider a lightning talk or a visual poster presentation. If you are looking to share your research and evidence-based insights in a longer format, this is our more traditional format. This is where the insight session comes in. If you're looking for those more practical peer-driven strategies and you want an opportunity to do some code design, the Solutions Lab is probably the one you're looking at. And then if you've got a bit of an out-of-the-box idea which doesn't really fit any of these categories, please put it in the Design Your Own category, and we'd love to see what innovative and amazing things you come up with. So what I am going to do, I'm just going to stop sharing for a minute, and I'm going to bring up the page, the Student Voice Australia page. I want to share that with you just for a moment. That's going to take us through a bit more detail around the types of ways that are here. I'm just going to take you through these presentation types, and then we'll have a chat about which ones you're thinking might suit you. So if you have a look here, your insight session, it's a 30-minute presentation, which includes 10 minutes. So it's really 20 plus 10. So think of it that way, or 15 to 20 plus 10. You're going to leave lots of time for Q&A for this one. Tells you exactly what you need to prepare. Your presentation abstract will be up to 250 words, and there are abstract formatting guidelines here. And you're actually taken through those very carefully step by step in the application form. So it's quite self-explanatory. It also tells you what the review criteria is, and this review criteria is standard across all of the presentation types. So just keep in mind, you obviously need to nominate a theme or two or three, whatever you want to do, that you think is most relevant to one of the conference's sub-themes. They're looking for, by they I mean the working group, which is a mix of students and staff across Australasia who are on the working group for this conference. They're looking for clarity of description of the initiative, the research, the practice, the overall significance and impact. So can you show your impact? Can you show what outcomes you've had? The quality of the writing, and then obviously adhering to the formatting guidelines. So that one was for an insight session. The lightning talks, which are the shorter alternative, are 10 plus 10. So there's no slides. It's a really quick way to share some of the real world practices and experiences that you've had. It's really narrative driven. It's supposed to be short, sharp, quick. Again, you can see here what to prepare. The presentation abstract is only 100 words for this one. The guidelines are here. There's no references expected for this one, no tables, no images. And again, the review criteria are here. So just keep in mind that with the insight session, your references must be included. They are not included in the word count, but you must follow the APA 7th edition style. Okay, and those will go directly into the text box that's on the submission. And this is your visual poster presentation. So this is your opportunity to present your poster, literally a poster, which will be up during a 45-minute session of networking time, where you will be located with your poster, and as people are walking around the room, you'll have the opportunity to speak about your topic. It tells you what to prepare. Again, no references needed for this one. Same review criteria, etc. So again, if you're looking for something that's a bit of an alternative to standard longer conference presentation, probably your lightning talks and your visual poster presentation are the way to go. Otherwise, your insight session is your more traditional conference style presentation. Then we go into other ones like the Solutions Lab, which is that co-design opportunity. That's that 60-minute highly interactive opportunity that you have if you need to co-design the people in the room. And this one, references are not essential for this presentation type. And then there's a design your own, which we mentioned. If you've got a really creative presentation format which doesn't seem to fit the others, submit it under design your own. Okay? And the application form is in here. So I'm just going to pop that link into our chat just so you've got that one. So having a look at those, Donna and Novi, which one do you think there's one in particular that you're interested in? You think would fit what you're thinking of doing?
I think we were looking at the lightning or the insight session, Gary.
Yeah. So your lightning talk is that very quick 10-minute presentation with the 10-minute discussion, those slides. And then your insight session is that 30-minute research and reflection, sharing those evidence-based insights. It gives you just that little bit more time to expand on the impacts and outcomes from your work, and also includes, again, a 10-minute Q&A. So it'd be interesting to see where you end up going. And if you need to talk that through, obviously have a chat to Belinda. She'll be able to help you out with deciding on that one. You've got 250 words for your abstract, for your insight session, and you've got 100 words for your lightning session, being a shorter format. Yeah. Okay, very good. So I'm going to stop sharing that one and we'll go back to the presentation. Oh. Right, so lots of opportunities there, lots of different abstract submission types that you can choose from. So we talked briefly about how abstracts are assessed. Just keep in mind the Symposium and Summit Working Group, the Conference Working Group, are responsible for assessing all the abstracts submitted, and these are the criteria that they'll be using. I'm going to show you some examples to make sure that you feel you can actually, meet the criteria there. But I guess the first tip that I have for you is to think about who your audience is. So who's your audience? You really need to think about writing with them in mind. Now, the summit is on day 1, and this is a student only event. This is the one where you'll have student leaders, representatives, executives from student-led organisations who are advocating on behalf of students in attendance. Your day 2 will be the symposium, and this is where you get a real mix of people, all the way from your students to your practitioners, your academics, your researchers, your student leaders, all kinds of people. Sometimes it's a bit hard to choose what day you want to present on, so you can actually leave that up to the working group. I think you can nominate that in your form if you're not too sure. I think you can nominate either. But really do think about who you're writing for. So I'll give you an example. So practitioners may be educators, they may be student support staff, they might be other professionals within the tertiary education sector, it might be people from the vet sector, or people who are implementing student partnership initiatives, programs and practices. Students could be student leaders, representatives, executives from student-led organisations, and could be students who are simply interested in student voice. Your academics and researchers, they really contribute that valuable knowledge and expertise to discussions around student partnership as well. They can influence the design of inclusive teaching methods and research on effective student engagement strategies. And your leaders. So your leaders could be student leaders, they could be academic leaders, they could be professional staff leaders, they might be policymakers, they might be administrators. So really think about your audience because it's quite broad. So if you're thinking about submitting for the lightning talk, I'm basically going to give you the breakdown of 2 different types of presentation types: the lightning talk and the insight session. I'd just like to acknowledge the ANZA conference team actually for the structure that I'm going to take you through, particularly Megan Posey from UniSQ. She ran an abstract submission session quite similar to this for their upcoming conference. I've taken quite a few tips from that, as they were so helpful to me when I was considering how I was going to prepare my abstract. So hopefully you'll find this useful too. So this example that I've used here, this is not a real life example. This is just something that's been made up. It's really been created to demonstrate all the elements of a lightning talk. There's no tables, images or references that are required for this presentation type. The colours indicate the important sections of your abstract. So I'll just go through those briefly. So the section in blue, note that this introductory session, this opening, it presents the problem or the context. This is where you immediately establish what that real world problem is that audiences might relate to. In the orange section, this is about what action you took, what innovation, what did you do? It clearly describes the approach that you took. The purple section is around the results or the impact. So what happened? Can you quantify it? What's your concrete outcomes? And the blue section is around the broader significance to the sector. Think about linking this back to the conference theme and sub-themes, what broader implications this might have for the sector. I've also provided, because you also need to provide a presentation summary of 2 to 3 sentences for a lightning talk. So this is an example of a presentation summary. Do all those sections make sense to you, Donna and Novi? Anything surprising for you in there?
Excuse me, can I have access to the text of the samples, because I'm blind, so I cannot access the visual information here.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course. Belinda, you've got a copy of the... okay. Novi, we're going to have to think about how we get you access. Let's chat about that. Belinda, would you mind chatting to Novi about that maybe after the session? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And because it's recorded, if you need to go back and have a look at the text in more details, that's an option. Otherwise, you might be able to email the slides around or a snapshot of some of the content as well. So
yeah, I think Novi, I think you said you're blind, you're vision impaired.
Yeah, I'm totally blind, so I cannot access it.
Oh, sorry, I misheard that. Okay. Yes. Yep, absolutely.
We'll have a chat to you, Novi, about what the most appropriate way to get these resources are to you. But I will give you an example. Thank you for letting me know. So I'll take you through that. So I'll present it to you, and then you can talk to Belinda about getting a copy of the notes and how that works best for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So the opening of the problem or context is around, so the example that I've given, keep in mind it's only 100 words, and this is my challenge to you. Trying to get everything you want to say within 100 words for an abstract for a lightning talk can be quite tricky. So I've given an example of an opening. So that is traditional student feedback surveys at our university generated low response rates and limited actionable change, creating feedback fatigue among students who felt unheard. So that's the opening, that's setting the scene. The next section is around what you did. So the example I've given is, through a grassroots initiative, we replaced semester-end surveys with ongoing co-creation workshops where students and academic staff collaboratively redesign curriculum elements in real time. Then the next section we focus on is the results, the impact, what your quantifiable outcomes are. And the example I've given is, this shift from passive feedback collection to active partnership has increased student engagement by 300% and resulted in tangible curriculum improvements across 5 faculties. Then the last section is around broader significance. It's around connecting to the conference theme and the broader implications for your discipline, your sector. And the example I've given is, our experience demonstrates how moving beyond the speed requires fundamentally reimagining feedback mechanisms to create genuine shared power in educational decision-making. So that's the example that I've given you, and I've also provided a presentation summary of 2 to 3 sentences. And the summary is, this presentation shares the real-world journey of transforming a broken student feedback system into a thriving co-creation model that gives students genuine decision-making power in curriculum design, including the practical steps taken and an unexpected lessons learned along the way. Attendees will discover actionable strategies for implementing similar partnership approaches in their own institutions, turning student feedback fatigue into authentic educational collaboration. So that was the presentation summary of 2 to 3 sentences around that abstract.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it.
That's okay, no problem. So the next example that I'm going to give you is around that longer format, which is the insight session. So this is your longer 30-minute format. And I've broken this down. Again, this is an example. It's not real life. You can get some examples from the SVA webpage, which I've given you the link to. You need to look at the previous symposium, and it will give you lots of different examples there. So this example has been created to demonstrate the elements of the insight session. I've divided it into the key components that you would consider. It has 4 parts. I'm going to start from number 1. So you'll need to establish the context relevant to your presentation. The example I've given is student voice initiatives in Australian higher education often struggle to move beyond consultation toward genuine shared power, with many programs inadvertently reinforcing tokenistic practices rather than fostering authentic partnerships, and Matthews 2017 is cited. The second section, describe how the problem, the opportunity, or the project emerged from the context and what you did. The example text I've provided is, this longitudinal mixed methods study investigated how formal student leadership development programs influence both individual student capacity and institutional readiness for meaningful change across 8 universities from 2021 to 2024. Using a transformative mixed methods approach, Cook, Sather et al. 2014 is cited. We collected survey data from 312 student leaders and 89 staff members, conducted 45 in-depth interviews, and analysed institutional policy documents and meeting records. Participants were tracked across 3 academic years to examine developmental trajectories and institutional responses to student-led initiatives. Section 3, this is where you've got to outline the learnings, your findings, and the outcome from whatever your research or your project was. And the example text is as follows. Findings reveal 3 distinct institutional archetypes: performative adopters, maintaining traditional hierarchies while appearing inclusive; genuine experimenters, actively testing new partnership models; and systemic transformers, embedding student voice into governance structures. Student leaders in systemic transformer institutions demonstrated significantly higher levels of agency, policy literacy, and change-making confidence compared to peers in other contexts. And then the last section, section 4, you'll need to outline what can we take from this? What can we learn? The listener wants to know, the audience wants to know what's in it for me. And the example text I provided is, these findings challenge universities to examine whether their student voice initiatives genuinely distribute power or merely create an illusion of participation, offering evidence-based recommendations for designing programs that foster authentic partnership and sustainable institutional change. So that's for your insight session. It's that slightly longer session. And as I mentioned to you, there are some examples on the SVA webpage. As I said, I've provided that link. And these are actually really useful for seeing what's been success. Have a look, what's been successful in the past? What do their abstracts look like? You can learn from what others have done previously. So it's a good opportunity. Have a look at that resource. So we are at the end of our session now. Is the time for your questions. Anything that you want to ask, and it can be honestly anything. So please just go ahead. Is there anything in particular that you want to know at this point?
Kerry, you also offered online presentation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because at the moment, our mentors were thinking of like, we're doing the online, but we're thinking of there's a possibility of we are going to Brisbane to present, but um, not yet in. So at the moment we're planning to present it online.
I'm sure that's fine. But Linda, how is the online, or Sarah, how does the online sort of component work?
Yeah, that's fine. So on the application form, you'll be able to indicate your preference if you want to come in person, if you want to present online, or you can also select if you're unsure. So we understand often if you are coming in person, you might have to go through an application for funding process. So you're not sure how that looks like. So you can just indicate that online, and that's not a problem. So yeah, we'll have a mix of online and in-person sessions, and those sessions will be run on Teams. So we'll be able to brief presenters in terms of what that looks like as we develop the program.
Belinda, will the presenter be presenting to the room full of attendees on the Gold Coast as well as online? So a hybrid presentation, is that how it will work?
Yes, yeah, okay. That's our intention. And we're just going to establish the demand of how many presentation submissions that we get. Our preference is for in-person presentations where possible. However, yeah, we acknowledge that can be difficult with funding approvals. So yeah, it would depend on the format that you choose and the demand that the working party gets for each session types. We may choose to have some online only sessions depending on our numbers as well. So you might be online and you might be presenting only to the online registrations as opposed to dual mode, but we'll be able to, yeah, tell you more details once we get all the applications in and establish as we develop the program.
Regarding the funding, is it offered by the student voice? Because Novi and I, with our pilot project, we have a fund which is only $550 at the moment. But yeah, our mentors are gathering some funds as well, but not yet. We're just starting. Yeah. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do have travel grants available for students from member institutions, which I know Murdoch is. At the moment, it's just one travel grant per institution. And the amounts are still being finalised, but based on last year's, it was around $300 to $400 to come over from WA, because obviously that's the most expensive state to travel from. And so we'll just be liaising with the main practitioners through the network in terms of how the institution decides to allocate those student grants. Although, yeah, having an accepted presentation at the conference, I think would strengthen, yeah, the application towards those travel grants as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Novi, do you have any questions?
Maybe for the online presentation, is there any specific types of presentation that we can choose, or all types?
All types at this stage, yes. Yeah, all types, yeah.
Including the poster? Can we use the poster presentation as well?
That's a good question. Yes, I'm going to say yes. We haven't discussed it as a working group just yet, but it is because we'll have online participants. So there will be a break component of the conference where you could speak to people and present a poster at that time. Yes, so I'm going to say yes, that is also an option.
Thank you so much. I have maybe 2 more questions. Regarding the ticket for presenting, if we present, like our presentation is delivered by 2 people, but in one group, do we need to purchase the ticket for one or two?
It would be for 2 people,
Okay.
yes. Yeah. But also the ticket, you do get several free tickets as a member institution as well. Yes, yeah, as well as the travel grants. And
Maybe
yeah,
one more question,
the
Belinda.
confirmed cost of all that will be published on the website before the applications close over the next few weeks.
Thank you. Maybe one more question from
Yeah.
me regarding the abstract. If we are still unsure, we'll choose like maybe poster or lightning talk. And I know that the length of the abstract is different. So if we choose these two in our application, so we need to provide 2 abstracts as well.
I had not considered that before. You could submit twice if you wanted, but because the length for both the poster and the lightning is quite similar, I think the one submission would be fine. But if you chose to do like a case study in a poster, for example, then I would suggest submitting 2 because they're quite different.
So your insight session, for example, is 250 words. For your abstract, it has a little bit of a different, it's a bit of a different structure to how you'd be presenting that, your project, your research, your findings. It'll be quite different. It is quite structured. All the details are on that SVA webpage and in this presentation, but it's quite different from your poster presentation. So it wouldn't make sense to have 2 submissions. Yeah.
Does that make sense, Novi, regarding the 2 presentation types?
Thank you so much.
And if you're really unsure and you do want to make a decision before you submit, my suggestion is that you do contact Belinda. So you can contact Belinda on sva@unisq.edu.au. That's the best way to get in touch. Yep. And just chat it through with Belinda, and you'll soon sort it out. Might be easier for you. It's going to be less work than trying to put in a couple of submissions because you're not too sure. But yeah, do have a chat to Belinda. That's the best way to go.
Yeah. And as a working group, we'll be reviewing all of our submissions, and definitely our approach is to try to ensure we have as many opportunities for people to present at this conference. So we may even, if we have any feedback, we may get in touch with you and provide that feedback for consideration, or we might come back to you and say, hey, we think this would fit really well in this category. Would you be flexible? So yeah, we'll always get back to you if we have any questions as well. And our goal is to, just make sure that as many people as possible have the opportunity to share their insights and their experiences as part of this conference. Well, thank you. Is there any other, final questions?
It's so good to hear what you are thinking of doing, Novi and Donna, because you've already got a really well thought out, a really good idea. I really hope you make the decision sounds like you're going to apply. So I'm really keen to see what you decide to do, but would strongly encourage you to get your application in. It sounds fantastic. You're going to have a great audience for that topic too. Really good audience and lots of good discussion. That's the thing about these types of conferences, is that while you are obviously sharing your practice, that's why the Q&A time at the end is so important, because you will hear from others what they are doing. You learn more at these conferences, I think, in Q&A and coffee and lunch than most other things. So yeah, I really hope you get that opportunity to attend and tell us about the amazing work you've been doing.
Thank you so much, Carrie. And we are so blessed that we have really great mentors for this project. Yeah.
But our project is actually still ongoing, so
Going, yeah.
maybe what we write in the abstract and what will we be presented maybe quite different, because we are currently just finalized our research and planning for the pilot, and then next semester from September to October we will do the pilot. So maybe when we do the presentation we will have more insights from the pilot. Yeah.
And obviously make
Hopefully.
sure you note that in your abstract that this is a pilot, and when you'll be, everything you just told us, if you can note that, because that's actually quite exciting that we're probably going to be the first conference that's going to hear about some of your impacts and outcomes from your project. So that's a real selling point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that might be it, Linda.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And I also just want to take this opportunity to say a massive thank you to Kerry, who volunteered her time to run this session for the SVA network. And thank you to Griffith for their ongoing support in hosting the symposium and the student summit. So really looking forward to hopefully seeing you both there, either virtually or in person as participants and or presenters. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you,
you so
Carrie. Thank you,
much.
everyone.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Belinda.
Bye.